Do you consider masculinity a bad word? There are those who despise it, and there are those who twist it into some Attila the Hun thuggery. True masculinity is unselfish integrity in action. It's taking responsibility to provide for and protect others. A truly masculine man is physically fit, but for a purpose, not for show. A truly masculine man wants a better world for his wife, his children, and grandchildren. He is a warrior against evil. One of the sickest things you will ever see is someone who thinks they are masculine because they're the biggest thug they can be. The masculinity we should admire is not that of some ape who wants the alpha role and his pick of females. It's not the one who wants to fight every other male to maintain his alpha status. That's Charles Darwin thinking. Survival of the fittest. Those who believe in our Creator God see that God created human rights that masculine men should help defend. Our founding fathers created a Declaration of Independence that includes a God-given right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. They created a constitution with a Bill of Rights, including freedom of speech, religion, and the press. They called on men and women to protect these rights, knowing they would come under attack from sinister alpha male tyrants. In cities across America, there are men in gangs. They're willing to commit crimes to make money, and they're prepared to behave like animals. In Washington, D.C., there are elite gangs out to undermine the Constitution and maintain an American empire with all manner of wicked behavior, from assassinations to rigged elections. This is not the masculinity we need. In the 1960s, there were those who pushed a sexual revolution that sought to wipe away traditional values, including the godly concept that masculinity has a noble role in family structure. They wanted sex to be free and women to be freed from husband domination. They got something close to Darwin. The alpha males got the most sex, and it didn't matter who with. Thanks to pornography, females became sex objects who lived constantly compared to nubile teenagers. Their self-worth transformed from their role as mother to their image as sexy. Males became hunters of the sexy. Books in that time period included one called The Naked Ape, which explained man exists on Earth to gratify urges through sexual conquests. This was their concept of masculinity. Their concept of femininity was as if women had sex organs and no brains. Throughout history, men's superior size and strength has led to a concept of dominant masculinity. A man rules his house. With the coming of Christianity, women were to be considered valuable, not just for sex and motherhood, but as partners. Husbands were instructed to love their wives as Christ loved the church. They were literally to die for, if necessary. Masculinity was seen as half of a union, with the other half being femininity. Together they made a sacred partnership. Sexuality was to be reserved for this sacred relationship. The masculine husband was to cherish the feminine wife, and working together, they were to love and raise children. This is a sacred union. Done as God intends, it's a beautiful thing. Parents graduate into becoming beloved grandparents and serve as the root of a family tree. Darwinian masculinity leaves a trail of pregnant women getting abortions or trying to raise children on their own with government assistance. The sperm donors are as masculine in God's sight as a worm. They are derelicts and deserters. There are a lot of derelicts and deserters strutting around thinking they are masculine. The revolution has gotten so insane that some men think they are masculine by being attracted to other men to donate sperm. Even Charles Darwin would condemn this as destructive. One of the problems we face today is that the American people know that many of their elected leaders are disgraceful alpha males willing to do perverse things to rise to power. The American people, Republican and Democrat, want to know the truth about the Epstein files, and those in Washington don't want them exposed. There actually are many millions of Americans who admire masculinity as God wants it demonstrated. They've been battered for decades by media promoting the sexual revolution. But in their heart, they know it's sick and perverse. The very height of perversity is a man who thinks it's masculine to seek sex with children. Some of these perverts serve in high positions in many fields. They are not masculine. They are demonic. This is why the American people demand the Epstein files. We know already that Epstein worked as an agent for those who want political power and seek to entrap and control all in power. Americans do not consider this masculine or noble. Republican or Democrat, it's seen as sick. Imagine the impact of 200 well-known, very wealthy and influential people being sent to Epstein Island, redesigned as a prison compound where they eat rice and beans and combat bugs in their cells. Don't expect this to happen, because too few American males are willing to rise up against such slime and demand justice. Some hoped this was part of the Make America Great Again agenda, but clearly it is not. Marjorie Taylor Greene was declared a traitor for trying to take this stand. Here's the good news. Masculinity's demise is not imminent. There are men with the balls to expose evil. There are men out to stop child trafficking. There are men who want honest elections and truth in regard to government spending. There are men who want to make better movies and be honest politicians. There are men who are good husbands, fathers, and grandfathers. There are men who want to pass on to their children and grandchildren the concept of godly masculinity. They want their children and grandchildren to experience the union of masculinity and femininity God designed for marriage. They want to be the root of a solid family tree and not some slave to lust and perversion. They don't want branches breaking off their family tree and falling into a pile of perversion. One of the most wonderful aspects of true masculinity is the role and example of teacher. A man who can pass godly masculinity to his sons gets a profound sense of accomplishment when he sees his sons and daughters grow and experience marriage as God intended it to be. Not only is he proud, but he gets to enjoy the masculine role of grandfather. It's one of the great joys of my life. By making this podcast, my hope is to encourage more of God's intention for masculinity. I hunger to leave a better world for my children and grandchildren, and yours as well.